Folks, I'm going to be with you in just a minute. I'm still trying to figure out if you guys can hear me okay, and I still can't see the chat. So just bear with me here. Okay, let's see here. All right, there we go. All right, can you guys hear me okay? If somebody can just confirm that you can hear me okay and that the reading you 5 by 5. Thank you very much for the confirmation. I'm going to put my iPad right in front of me here so I can see what you guys are telling me. Okay, so here's what we're going to be doing in this live stream today. We are going to be... no, that is not the default sound. That would be XEnviro, and as you know, X-Enviro is a complete environment engine, for those of you who do not know. Yeah, we'll be covering everything from performance and FPS and everything. Can you guys confirm that you can see the Hardware Monitor Pro on the screen? If you can see it, just tell me that you can see it, because we're going to be referring back to this. All right, so here's what we're going to be doing in this video. I have overclocked, yes, perfect, okay, perfect. All right, so I have overclocked my CPU to 4.7 gigahertz, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at my XEnviro settings, and I think everyone would agree that this view looks beautiful from below these clouds here. We can add, there you go, so that's a little more daylight there, and we're going to be doing a lot of different things. So the first thing I want to show you is we're going to go to XEnviro, and we're going to go to settings, and these are the settings that I am using. As you can see here, I've used the real mode, so just click there and you will get this. I don't like the lens flare, so it's turned off. Rendering settings, I've used exactly what comes with the optimum, but I've reduced the cloud intensity to 50%. And then if we move on here to the effect settings, you will see that I have everything from the natural preset, only I have ticked off lens flare, and the sounds are on maximum. So what we're going to do is we're going to take off and we're going to take a look at the weather conditions, and we're going to look at performance. But first, I want to just kind of go up here and show you what things look like from above the clouds. Now, if you can just ignore the artifacts here on the side, this scene looks absolutely incredible. I really like how this is starting to look now in version 1.11 of XEnviro. I think this is a very convincing scene, and as we move here, this is bright daylight now, and I really like the light scattering and how the terrain versus mountain mix here. As you can see, it's very smooth, it's done really nice, minus those artifacts, of course, and that is something that hopefully will be addressed in upcoming versions of XEnviro. But as it stands today, I think this looks very, very nice. The smoothing as you go through the clouds is phenomenal, and this is a very, very convincing scene here. If you ask me, it looks very good, it feels good, very, very immersive. The haze, the distribution of the actual clouds look absolutely phenomenal. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to, you have okay, yeah, Joe, Well, look, I'm going to show you one thing before we proceed. Let me hit, by the way, you can hit Control Shift F. That will automatically bring up your FPS counter. So that's a shortcut. And as you can see, we are at about 35, 34 frames here in this particular scene. But it will go actually down once we are in the virtual cockpit. So, yeah. Can you leave the FPS on? Yes, sure, I'll leave the FPS on. So I'll leave this on, and just remember that we are now overclocking to 4.7 gigahertz. So this is what's going on right now. When I first overclocked and started to explain, the temps went just slightly above normal. I never actually get anything in the 80s range. But as you can see, once the scene is actually loaded, things are pretty normal here. As you can see, all 4 cores are now overclocked to 4.7 gigahertz. Yes, there is definitely a significant FPS drop still in this version of xEnviro, but the beauty of it is something that I really cannot just let go. It's absolutely stunning, especially when you're flying below the clouds. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to head over to the Robin, the Aerobasque Robin, and this aircraft is actually a freeware by Aerobasque. Let me silence my phone here. And I'm sorry if you guys can hear my family in the background, but the kids are still up, and they're contemplating staying just a little bit more before they go to bed for school. But as you can see now, this is quite an involved scene. We have the rain effect on the windshield, and we are getting about 25, 26 FPS. Temps are still okay, by the way. So if we look here, the temps are, we're getting about 70s now. But this is 4.7. I'm not going to push it anymore. I can probably go to 4.8, but it's not really going to make that big of a difference. So what we're going to do is we're going to start this aircraft, and hopefully it won't be loud. And if it is loud, then I'll probably just turn the volume down on X-Plane. Let's see here. Need the fuel pump, and let's start it. All right. If the sound of the aircraft overpowers my voice, please let me know. And maybe, you know what, actually I'll just go and turn this down about right here. All right, so that should be good. If it's still not good, please let me know. Let's turn on our avionics, and I'm going to release the parking brake. And let's see here, where are my lights? Nav lights there, and whatever lights we need. Yeah, flashlight is fine. All right, and we're going to turn on the pitot. All right, let's take a short flight here out of 1 Sierra 2. The scenery is that of Orbex. All right. I'll provide you with a link once the video is processed after the stream is over of this freeware Aerobasque. But I tell you, I really like xEnviro. I think it definitely has the potential of being the #1 environment engine for X-Plane. All right, here we go. Still, if you look at the frame counter, we're getting about 26 frames. I don't even know where I'm taxiing because I can't see a thing. All right, here we go. Give it some power. I really like the rain effect. Now, one of the things in xEnviro is that it is a complete environment engine. So you will get replacement clouds, replacement haze, replacement sounds. Everything will change, so it's not just really ooh. Right, so definitely strong wind there. All right, 27 FPS. mean, don't mind my terrible taxiing here. All right, here we go. All right, I'll tell you, I really like the scene. It looks very, very convincing. All right, now we're down to about 24, 20, or we're back to 26. Okay, let me give it some power. I have almost full right rudder here to keep it on the center line. All right, here we go. I'll tell you guys, this is very nice indeed. I like the clouds. The frames are a little bit better, I think. Yeah, we're going to go above the clouds in just a moment here to take a look at things above the cloud as well. And we are still averaging about 27 frames. We're up to 30. And of course, it will depend on the scene. And by the way, this is a very, very intense scene. So there are currently a lot of clouds in our destination. So the clouds are quite dense. You can download the older version, use until they fix. I don't really like the old version. I think now the frames are suffering a bit here. We're down. Well, look, we go to 28, 29. Let's take a look at the outside. Yeah, look at that. Just really beautiful clouds. Look at that. That is a really nice scene. Absolutely gorgeous. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hit on the map, and we're going to click on the aircraft, and we're going to just go up here. By the way, I don't recommend that you fly this aircraft at this altitude. Well, I guess maybe we're still okay. We'll go to 9,000 feet. All right, look at that. All right, let's see. Okay, here's the inside. Now, again, if you look at those artifacts, to me they ruin the experience, to be honest. But if you look at the rest of the scene, just look at the clouds here on the right side of the aircraft. I think that looks absolutely phenomenal. Very, very nice. The light scattering is done quite well, in my view. And we can change the time here a bit. And slightly more, and now the shimmering is more visible at this, at this time of day. The sky colors are very nice. The artifacts are not, and I know I keep mentioning those because they really irritate me. So it's not actually one layer. Last night I was doing a test before really deciding to do this stream, and you actually get more than one layers. I flew through very dense clouds, and they were multiple layers. And what we're going to do is we're going to change the time of day here slightly. Just look at that scene. That is absolutely beautiful. I absolutely love it. Now, some clouds look like what was the term that one of you guys once used? Can you save these videos? Yes, I am going to save this video for sure. I think somebody said that the clouds look like shaving foam. And you know what? It actually does sometimes. In some scenes, I've noticed that they look like shaving foam. But on a recent flight to the UK, I actually saw the clouds from above, and some of those clouds look like shaving foam. So yeah, I think this is a really very nice and convincing scene. Let's take a look here once more. Look at that. Clouds all the way to the end of the horizon. There you go. Very nice, yeah. I really like it. So now, of course, you can see that you know the frame rate is pretty good, and that's because we're looking at the aircraft from a distance. Looks like cotton. In some ways, I think it does. It largely depends on the actual scene. But what we're going to do now is we're going to head back into the clouds. So I'm going to hit the map button again, and we're going to take it down here maybe. Yep. All right. And we're going to go into the clouds now. And the frames are definitely suffering. We are at what, 25 frames now, 26. And the aircraft might actually just flip because we're not supposed to do this in this aircraft. What about if you don't fly with overclocking? So, okay, so actually, to be very honest with you, I normally have, my processor is an i7 7700K processor, so I already have it overclocked to 4.5 gigahertz. That's the normal overclocking speed that I use, and I've been using for about the last 4 years now. Yeah, so it is 4.2 out of the box, but I've overclocked it to 4.5, and between 4.2 and 4.7, there isn't really much difference in terms of FPS. You gain about maybe 1 or 2 FPS at best. So I haven't really seen that much of a difference between 4.2 and 4.7 gigahertz, to be very frank. But I wanted to push the machine to 4.7 to see if there is actually any difference, and there isn't. But having said this, the difference between version 1.10 and 1.11 is significant in terms of performance. 1.10, xEnviro 1.10 was almost non-flyable. We're back in the rain. I really like how smooth the transition is. SkyMax Pro, yeah, SkyMax Pro is okay. It's not bad. Oh, look at that, man. We're almost going to hit the ground now. Yeah, I have no... yeah, we are very close to the ground, actually. So I have absolutely no idea what's going on there. All right, let me try to go down here. I can't really see much. Oh, there we go. So the smoothness here... We're going to hit the mountain. Just, if you guys have noticed how smooth that transition was from, you know, from being in the cloud and moving down here, which is absolutely gorgeous. Really, I really like it. I really think the developers of xEnviro still have a long way to go, but what they have is a foundation for something that might just be the very best environment engine for X-Plane. Really like what they've done. Okay, so this is pretty much what I wanted to share with you guys in this quick live stream. Let's see. Why to go with xEnviro if you already have FS Global and SkyMax? No, so it's a matter of choice. xEnviro, in my view, still needs work because the performance is still dreadful, especially if you fly like the Zeebo or one of the airliners. I think it's almost unflyable unless you don't have as many clouds. So this is quite an intense scene where you have an overcast, you have heavy rain, and very dense clouds. So it really is a trade-off between visual quality and performance. Personally, what I use X-Vision in all my videos, and I use Active Sky XP. Yeah, it does still have the pixelation. Those artifacts are mainly made for performance reasons, so it's an intentional thing, and they will probably work on fixing it in the future. But overall, I think it's a good product. I think it looks good, quite immersive. This is again the outside scene here below the clouds. Just look at the, I don't know why my mouse keeps doing that. If you look at the haze in the distance, the actual raindrops, the actual lighting that comes through the clouds makes for an incredibly realistic scene. Very nice indeed. Now, just if you guys are thinking about buying xEnviro, a word of caution. It is still not very performance friendly. So you're, even with the machine at overclocked at 4.7 gigahertz, I'm finding it a bit difficult to, to really maintain a smooth scene. Nonetheless, if you look far at the distance here, that is really very, very realistic. So you can definitely enjoy xEnviro for smaller aircraft, maybe general aviation, and you can also enjoy it with airliners if you're flying in an area that does not have a lot of dense clouds. And I was doing a short test flight with the Zibo. I flew from Salt Lake City, Utah to Denver International Airport in Colorado last night, and the performance was pretty good. I maintained about an average of 35 FPS, so it wasn't that bad, but the clouds weren't that heavy throughout the flight. So I really enjoyed xEnviro, enjoyed seeing the overcast in some places, and the pockets of cloud, and going through the clouds was really nice. Do you think I will have any issues running airliners in X-Plane 11 using Ryzen 7 27 overclocked a bit? You know what? I don't know. I haven't tried it, but I wouldn't risk it. Now the Ryzen processor is quite strong, but it is a multi-core. So X-Plane is still very much dependent on the single core power. So the more CPU speed you have, the better for X-Plane and P3D for that matter. But yeah, I mean, you will probably enjoy other games. It will probably perform a lot better with other games, but not with X-Plane. You really want to go to maybe one of the i9s that you can overclock to 5 gigahertz. That would be my recommendation at this point. Vulkan should make it. Yes, definitely. Yeah, Vulkan. Once Vulkan is out, it will make more use of multi-threading and multi-core. Is Active Sky better in FPS from xEnviro? Okay, so we actually cannot compare the two because xEnviro is not equal to Active Sky. Active Sky is only a weather generation engine, whereas xEnviro is an environment engine. So while Active Sky does have replacement textures, it's not intended for that purpose, but it's intended to really generate accurate weather with unlimited layers of weather, and that's its job. But it's then up to the simulator to translate the METAR information into the sim. xEnviro, on the other hand, is a complete replacement of everything. It's a weather generation, and it also changes your sound, sky colors, cloud textures, everything. Just look at that scene. That scene looks absolutely gorgeous. Very, very nice indeed. So they're very different products. They cannot be compared. It would be unfair to compare them to each other. In terms of the weather generation, though, Active Sky might have an edge over xEnviro in terms of accurate METAR information. But this, I'll tell you guys, this is a beautiful scene. Just really very immersive, extremely convincing. Yeah, I've tried X-Visibility Lua to control haze. It's very good when coupled with Cloud Art. That's what it's called, I believe. So I've tried Cloud Art with X-Visibility, and the results are just absolutely amazing. Very nice indeed, but you need to get rid of X-Vision, of course. But I think you guys agree this is a nice scene here on the screen. And Hey, Michel, how are you doing, my friend? Very good to have you here on the stream. Please refrain sending long messages. No real weather in xEnviro. Well, it is actually real weather. Just the depiction is not exactly right at this point. But look at that sun, and just the scene is beautiful. It has also, by the way, snow accumulation. That's one of the new features in xEnviro. I really like it. I think it has a bright future if the developers really fix the performance issues. I would love to fly in xEnviro exclusively if those performance issues are fixed. Yes, I do like Ultra Weather XP 2.5.1. I've used it, but I still prefer X-Vision with Active Sky. That would be my choice with the impressive preset for Lua. The sun is quite nice. Yeah, I know. I've tried the snow accumulation as well. It's really, really good. But you have to kind of just sit and wait for quite some time for the snow to accumulate. And that is very realistic, by the way. But yeah. So this is what things look like from inside the cockpit now. Again, I think this is a very convincing scene, and we're back to 30 FPS. Sounds are nice. Everything really looks nice. All right, folks, this is it for this stream. Hopefully I'll come up with more ideas for streaming live in the coming weeks. Perhaps I will set a schedule for streams so that you guys know when I'll be streaming. But at this point, it's pretty much ad hoc because I really don't know what to expect in terms of connectivity. So, until the next video, please take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you all very soon. Thanks for tuning in, and bye-bye for now.